Hello, guys, and welcome back to season 2 of the Reality Check podcast. Now, today we're back with a bang. We're back with a Geordie OG, Mr. Ricci. Ricci, how you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming on the show.
I'm good, Curtis. Thanks for having us on, mate.
No worries, no worries. How you been? You said you've been busy.
Good, non-stop. Literally jumped out of the studio 3/4 of an hour ago, and I've literally been from end to end of the country DJing, and it's crazy at the minute. But I can't complain. It's great. It's really
good. Man.
Loving
good man. So I'm sure, everyone who knows you will know you from Geordie Shore. So if we take it back to the very beginning, you joined Geordie Shore in 2012. So how did that all come about?
Yeah.
It was around then. So how did that all come about?
I was a topless host in a club called Tub Tub in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And the manager, Cristiano, who's good mates with Kyle, who's obviously been on the show, he came up to me and said, "Ricky, I've got the perfect MTV are filming a TV show called they want to do it sort of similar to Jersey Shore. I think you'd be perfect for it." I was like, yeah, put me forward. So I had all the meetings with the juries in the centre of Newcastle.
Yeah. And
I only found out later that they were like sort of picking certain people to resemble the cast of Jersey Shore. Okay. So, for example, the when they picked Sophie, she was meant to be the Snooky, and they picked Jay, who was meant to be the Situation. Okay. But obviously, as the show went on the first series, people fell into different sort of roles, like Gaz sort of being a player, and sort of Jay being the sort of like the dad of the house and that kind of thing. But yeah, I went through all the interviews, and then it was kind of me and Gaz went for the same sort of roles. And I got a call for the second series and said, "Oh, can you come down to London ASAP?" I said, "Yeah, no worries."
Yeah.
So literally, I was up and down from London. It was daunting. I never get nervous, but I was sat there in front of like 4 of the big bosses from Lime and MTV, and I talked absolute bollocks. Yeah, I never watched the first series. I was besotted with Jersey Shore. I never watched Geordie because I had a little sort of like didn't pick me to get on. But then when I was down there meeting all the bosses, they were asking about each girl, what I liked, if I liked them, and that kind of thing. I was like, yeah. Talked an absolute order bollocks.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day, Benno, one of the producers on it, she was like, "They absolutely loved you. Can you come in and meet blah blah blah?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Literally within a week of getting the first phone call, being up and down from London, I was on the show, signing contracts in Newcastle. So
sick.
Whirlwind, mate. Honestly,
yeah,
whirlwind.
I bet. I mean, obviously from an outsider watching that show, it just looks like you guys. I mean, obviously, I spoke to Nathan on season 1, so I got a slight insight. I got a slight insight into how it works. But I mean, you were obviously on the second season, so you were like, I think now with the people that go on it now, really. Yeah, I think when people go on it now, in my opinion anyway, it's more like they go on it because they know how it works and they're on it for other reasons. Whereas you guys were literally like, you were just going out for the sake of, that's what you did in your lifestyle, right? You went out every night. You got obviously steaming. Is that literally what it was like every night? Is it 4 or 5 nights a week?
I wish it was 4 or 5 nights. It was brutal, mate. I'll start on your first point of sort of when we first did it, when we first started out.
Yeah.
No one knew what they were getting themselves in for.
Yeah.
Even I was a confident person. I was a young kid, been around Newcastle for a long time, and everyone knew us and working me top off from the age of 18, 19. I was a confident kid, and everyone knew us. So going into a house with full of cameras and stuff like that, it was crazy. That being said, we all just were ourselves. We went out every single night. We got absolutely blitzed. We all had sex on TV, that kind of stuff, and no one really gave a fuck, mate, to be honest with you.
No.
And even on night times, we'd get like bottles of vodka and stuff before we were going out for pre-drinking. We'd go out, we'd get absolutely licked, and we'd be filming for between 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Now it's changed because even people coming into the show, obviously they've seen us from, and I'm not just talking about Geordie, I'm talking about other TV shows and that as well.
Yeah.
Where they've sort of watched, learned, and processed of what to do on reality TV, what works and what doesn't. When we first started, we only really had Laguna Beach, the hills to go off, maybe. And Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
But nothing really what we've had for years and years and years, where you've had Geordie going for 24 series now. And now you've got all the Love Island cool kids coming through,
exactly.
And sort of obviously they're doing their thing, which is great.
Like you said, they all know what they're getting into, and they all know how to play the game. Because at the end of the day, especially with the Love Islands and that, a lot of them do go on it for just purely to grow their influencer profile, don't they?
Reality TV is a business now, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I think I sort of picked up a lot of TV shows after Geordie, from doing X to doing X on the Beach, to doing Big Brother, to doing Dinner Date, and then flying over to Australia and absolutely cleaning up in Australia. What you saw is what you got with us. And I think that's why the Big Brother bosses, I was in the meeting with Rosanna and Hannah for about 3 minutes, mate. 3 minutes. And they were like, love you, love you, love you.
Yeah.
Other people from Geordie didn't get the same sort of thingy. Not going to go into names. But yeah, just they knew what they were going to get with us. And I'd done big numbers as well for all the people that had slated us and stuff like that. And Geordie, who have been like, oh my God, all they do is fight and all they do is argue. The Ricci Vicky brand will always be strong, and always people will be entertained if me and her are going to be doing anything in the future.
I was going to say, because, sorry.
No, it's cool. But that's why it's always, it's held up, even the viewing figures for, I mean, I did an interview literally yesterday, and I was saying the episode I walked out on Next to the Beach was the highest ever rated episode from an MTV series, from the first series.
Really?
Ever, like across the globe.
I still remember watching that.
So you can imagine the numbers that I did. Like I remember getting, I can't remember who told me, one of the MTV bosses. I don't think they were meant to be honest with you. But I was trending #1 worldwide, mate. I was touring Australia at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here arrogant and being like, yeah, that's me. That's what me and Vicky did from Geordie, and then going into X. But then obviously me going into the Big Brother, that's when things went sour for me, because it was kind of like she was telling story after story after story of us in Big Brother and trying to use my name to sort of go places, which is cool. I get it. It's all reality TV and stuff, but yeah, that's what's when I was doing really well, she didn't like it, kind of thing. And when I got kicked off Geordie, I had to deal with that. I had to sit back and be like, no problem, cool. And it was sort of a sour egg for her, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, really.
I was going to say, because obviously the one of the most controversial points of you being on Geordie Shore was definitely that relationship you had with Vicky.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that you obviously didn't know many people in the cast before you joined, or did you know a couple of them?
Funny enough, I had Vicky's BB pin. Do you remember BBMs?
BBM, yeah.
I never realised that. She told me when I was in the house. I'd just left work in Tub Tub, and I was getting a takeaway, and I think I got a BB pin there. She told me that story. And apparently, she deleted me off BBM because then I started messaging one of her friends, apparently, or something like that. So it's super stupid, mate. But she told me that story first, and when I first walked into the house, anyway.
But obviously, like I said, that relationship there is probably one of the most iconic, like, reality TV relationships around. I mean, what was it like to have that relationship branded over not just the TV? It was all over the news. It was everywhere, wasn't it? I mean, obviously, you were together in the house and out the house. Yeah. I mean, that must have been pretty tough.
It was relentless everywhere, and I still get it now. Ricci and Vicky, that even doing gigs all over the country, it's still a strong. It's hard to call it anything else in the brand, because that's what we created. But I mean, so many people are invested in our relationship.
Yeah, of course.
And they're super still invested in the Ricci and Vicky thing, which is crazy, because I mean, we had our moments. I know we got engaged and that on TV and stuff, and that'll be one of the most iconic times of flying a plane over and that kind of shit. Especially that series of. I mean, I got kicked out the house. I got kicked out the house 3 times that series.
Really? Was it 3?
I spent longer outside the villa than I did in the villa. I remember my manager phoning me up the last time, and he was just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why can't you just sit there and say nothing?" But that's why when people say, "Look, is it reality? Is it real?" Come on, man, I ain't gonna fake it. Like, I mean, I've gone into acting, done a movie, we've done 2 movies, and done stuff now. I've got more of an idea and more clued up with reality TV, but still, what you see is what you get with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it must have I just can't imagine, because I mean, I did a small show on ITV, and I was paired up with a girl. It was a little dating show.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good fun. Like I quite enjoy being in front of the cameras. That's why I do this. I enjoy the interaction with people. And even that, it was on 2 years ago, and I still get the odd message asking if I still speak to the girl, and that was on such a like smaller scale compared to you. And so I can't imagine how that was for you. It was basically international news for God knows how long, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. I mean, it's everywhere. But I mean, as long as Geordie continues, I think that's going to continue in itself anyway. I'm still Vicky from Geordie Shore, and she'll always be Vicky from Geordie Shore. And I think that's what we've all got to remember in that as well, the platform that MTV gave us and what we first did on that TV show. I mean, we can all grow up, we can all mature, we can all change and be better people. That being said, what me and Vicky were doing on there, we were doing a lot of things that a lot of other people were doing. We were just doing it in front of people's eyes. And a lot of people slated us, a lot of people loved us, and I think that's what worked really well. And I know obviously people have been saying, is she coming back this series? Is she coming back this series? Which obviously everyone have to stay tuned in. But it's always going to be there. And I've got no issue with it, with her or with anything. I've got proper thick skin, and everyone saw that on X on the Beach and that as well. I mean,
yeah, that was savage. I remember
MTV did me over with that one.
Remember...
Honestly, mate, I remember them phoning my manager and saying, we've got a brand new TV show for Ricci, a new singles TV show. I think it'll be great for him. So my manager, Mark at the time, and he said, look, I think this would be great for you. Did all the contracts, sort it all out, no problem, sweet. Fly over to, I think it was Marbella, they were filming at the time over there.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, mate, I got burnt. I was sunburnt on the beach. I was sat there for about 5, 6, 7 hours. I was absolutely burnt to shreds, and I had to swim down all the water.
I was going to say, actually, because I love X on the Beach, right? I love it. The only thing that I always wanted to know, right, is when you walk out the water, where are you coming from? Like, have you just come from like the other side of the beach or something, or is it all?
So you literally go about 100 yards up, and they've got like a blanket, like one of those like beach breaker things, so you can't see what's down there. But that's what they did when I was in the first series.
Yeah.
And I had to swim all the way down. And then you've got to literally just go around and you see who's there when you're obviously coming out, and then edit and cut it to the thingy. But yeah, they told me it was called the Summer of Love. So there was no inkling, no idea.
They didn't give you a clue at all.
Mate, not an absolute clue.
That's savage, isn't it?
And I mean, as much as I hated being there, like, she knew I was going to be there, and she befriended everyone, and she was twisting everyone's minds to saying I was the issue, I was the problem, I was this, I was that, which Vicky does very cleverly. But some people had my back over there, which worked in their favor in that as well, because she came across like an absolute tit.
Yeah.
And it was just too much for people in that as well, the way that she was going on. She thought it was a TV show for her, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just, I just remember watching it. It was just brutal, wasn't it? Because like you said there, because she was there first, and she got her side of the story across before you'd even arrived. The moment you did arrive, all these people had their opinion on you, and you had, like you said, you had a few of them who didn't really let her dictate how they felt about you. But I just remember watching it, just thinking, "Fuck me, this is brutal." And obviously, I can't imagine how fucking savage it was.
I think I came out episode 8. And every single fucking week, it was like they were showing little glimpses of my legs or my shorts or my body or something, just to tease the fact that it might be me.
It was you, yeah.
Honestly, mate, I remember being. Was I in Australia? I think I was touring Australia at the time. I'm sure I was. And honestly, my socials every single week were just going. My Twitter was going nuts. Absolutely crazy. And it just shows you, as much as people were slagging us and hating us, blah, blah, from Geordie, the figures that we did from X, we made X on the Beach. Like, we made that. And irregardless of everyone being there, people only bothered about me and Vicky. Irregardless.
Everyone wanted to see that reunion, didn't they? Everyone wanted to see that.
No one was asked about anyone else was there, and I know a few of the people that were there. No one could have given a fuck.
Yeah.
No one. And that's I mean, down to me and her doing what we do and what we did in Geordie and stuff like that, and that will always be there. And if a network can ever get us in the same room together again,
you reckon would it ever happen? Do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to chuck us both a load of money, like, so. We'd see.
It would be it'd make great TV anyway, wouldn't it?
Exactly, it would do. Because there's still a lot of things probably, yeah, that would not be happy with each other, seeing each other face to face, and probably discuss. No problem whatsoever.
I guess it's been a while, isn't it, since you last saw each other?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, she's doing great, I'm doing great, so it's not one of them sour things for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've both sort of made a great career out of coming from Geordie and doing what we do, really. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, mate. So on a side note, I was just wondering in terms of I know you obviously TV is the main thing you do, but when you do get a bit of chill time, maybe I know obviously you're big into music, which we'll get onto. What kind of stuff does Ricci watch on a chilled night when he's watching Netflix? What kind of stuff do you tune into?
Mate, I've butchered Netflix. Like, I've absolutely butchered it. I've butchered Prime as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, I've got absolutely nothing. Do you know what I actually was watching recently?
Go on.
Funny enough, and I don't watch reality TV ever.
Yeah.
My good friend David McIntosh, you know who he is? I read
yeah.
Mate, he's one of my best mates. He did the X on the Beach.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one that he's in?
Yeah, the one with Joey Essex and
Mate, how fucking funny is that series? Like,
it was. I was rewatching it the other day. Actually, it is very, very good because it's with Joey and who else was a Geordie in there? Was Sophie in there?
Sophie was there.
Yeah, that one. That's a good one. That's a good series.
But mate, when he's dancing and doing the fucking dancing,
he's a funny guy. I just want to speak to him. He's a funny guy.
He's reality TV gold. See, I'd love to do a sort of coach trip with him because I mean he's one of my best mates. We bounce off each other or Jay or someone as well. But it's sort of TV shows. I'm getting the age now where it's kind of like I've done all the party shows, which I'm cool to do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of them getting them TV shows that are really going to sort of I'm going to look back and think, oh, that was fucking cool doing it. Oh, that was fun doing it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, mate. I mean, for Netflix and stuff, it's kind of. I started watching the Dahmer thing, John.
Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer thing, yeah.
That one's fucked
up. I watched the movie a while ago. I don't know. I think there might be 2 movies of it. But I couldn't get into that series. I know everyone was ranting and raving about it. It was just really mental. Slow. It was really slow for me.
It was a bit slow, yeah. It was pretty fucked up though.
Yeah, crazy weird.
Like, so weird, yeah.
Mate, what's going on in America is nuts at the minute, mate. Anyway, there's like this thing you're shooting a week now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's mental. Yeah, it's bad. Cool. Anyway, let's talk about music because obviously, as you mentioned at the beginning, there you've been touring around. You've been doing lots of work in the studio. Yeah. So when did that all start? When did you start doing the production stuff?
So I'll tell you the backstory to it. When I lived in Australia for a year, I did 78 PAs in a year.
Wow.
Ridiculous, mate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just talking. If no one knows the size of Australia, you can fit the whole of Europe into Australia.
It's pretty big.
So you it's not like they're in the UK where I can just drive 2-3 hours and I can go do a gig. Yeah, I've got to go to the airport, which probably takes about an hour to get to when you're in Sydney.
Yeah.
Then you've got to get on a flight, whether it's going to Perth, that's 5.5 hours, whether it's going to Darwin, you're talking really long traveling times to get to places in the middle of fucking nowhere. Sometimes I can't remember one place I went to. I had to drive. I had to get a flight to Adelaide, then drive another 4 or 5 hours in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, mate, it's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah.
So I said, so I had 78 PAs. I filmed a movie, which I had an acting coach for 4 months to fit in between all the traveling stuff.
Yeah,
I had to film the movie. Then I was also doing a TV show with MTV X After Dark. So I was filming with them when X on the Beach was on over here.
Okay, yeah.
And then I also had my own radio show with Carl and Jackie, who are the biggest radio hosts in Australia, once a week as well. So I was absolutely blitzed by the end of the year, mate. As much as I made an absolute fortune, it was just, mate, I was done. Like, and I don't know whether you saw my fat pictures at the end of the year where I'm on the beach, where I'm eating the Big Mac and stuff. But mate, I was zonked completely, and I sat down with management at the end of the year, and I was just like, I can't do another year like that. I really can't.
Yeah.
As much it was great fun. I enjoyed doing it and stuff. And he was just like, "What do you think about DJ?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll check it out." So I came back over here, And I was like, look, I'm going to stay in the UK. I'm gonna get my head down and buy the decks. I'm going to do it because I wanted. I went around with my friends and I had to go, and I was like, yeah, fucking, I like this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had loads of friends that DJed and stuff, and I was always one of them people that would Shazam songs in clubs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then bought the decks, and then 2.5 years later, I'm rocking and rolling really, mate.
Here we are.
It's been the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Yeah, mate, I absolutely love it. I mean, doing gigs now with traveling all over and seeing everyone buzz off my music or playing.
Yeah, but that's a mental feeling.
The adrenaline rush, mate, that you get off it is insane.
Yeah, I bet.
And for the past 5-6 years now of DJing and producing music and making my own music and releasing it, there's no fucking better feeling, mate.
Yeah.
I've been in the studio all day, like, and just obviously making new music, new tracks for next year and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just, mate, it's the best job in the world. I fucking love it. So
Good.
That's how it came around.
Yeah, amazing. So when was your first like proper? When would you say was your first like main tune that you released? Was that a few years ago now, or is it become more recent?
That was Ride With Me, January 2021, beginning of last year.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's just hit 300,000 streams or whatever. So it's done really well, that first one.
Yeah.
The label I've signed to for the past 2 years, we've tried to create a sort of around TV and try to transition people to sort of be like, all right, Ricky's serious about this. I ain't one of them people that's not spent any time and no work in this where I turn to a club and press sync.
Press a button. Yeah.
I put heart, like blood, sweat and tears into this, where I'm in the studio making my own music. Me, I'm making it. Like, I'm making it with other people. I've been out of London with other producers and we're sort of like writing camps and that kind of stuff. I don't mess around with, and I know everyone doesn't see the full sort of picture with it. But like,
for sure.
Yeah, Ricci DJ properly or whatever, but I do. And yeah, mate, so the past 2 years, I was supposed to have Geordie at the beginning of last year to release that track. And then Geordie got put back, and then I got put back again. But I wanted to have it around my TV stuff, and everyone will have seen this series. And this was the reason why, because I wanted to be able to DJ on Geordie.
Yeah.
And play my own music on Geordie, which I had both this time, which I made sure that was in the contracts for going back on, because MTV they've gave me a huge platform of doing what I'm able to do.
Yeah.
But it was able to go back home as a sense and be able to go on there and DJ and play my own music.
But that was pretty cool.
Mate, it honestly, I mean, getting goosebumps of it being played and seeing myself DJ on where I first started and going back for the 10-year anniversary. It's like, it is the best feeling ever. And I'm appreciative to MTV. Lime worked, honestly, mate, perfectly with the record label, because I had to get my 5 tracks done to get them cleared. So I had 2 weeks to get 5 tracks done and get them mixed and mastered and all cleared by Lime. Mate, you've got no idea how hard it was. We were literally flying around all over the place. But Lime were great, absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, I couldn't have been any more appreciative, to be honest with you. I fucking love it.
So in terms of the music, what do you think? What's next in terms of? Are you going to look at like some festivals for the summer, or what's the plans for that then?
I don't know yet, mate. To be honest with you, I was supposed to be going to Australia in a few weeks, and I've put that back to February next year. Purely because I'm absolutely run ragged, mate. To be honest with you, the last 2.5 months, I've literally had no time to myself.
Yeah, I bet. And
I mate, Australia's great, but I'm literally doing back to back days of DJing, of press, of TV stuff, and it's just So I'm setting up some stuff that I can do over here with MTV Australia and stuff that I can do from over here, because it's just I've still got gigs this in November coming up, and then it's chill time in December with gigs here and there, but then it's kind of like back into TV Probably's World in March next year. I need some time off, mate. To be honest, I've literally not stopped this year at all. And Australia sounds great, but at the end of the day as well, it's kind of like I need my own downtime.
You need a bit of chill, need a bit of time to recover.
Mate, as well, my training gets put on the back foot, and I'm obsessed with training and diet and stuff like that as well. And this is exactly what I said to my manager as well, which when it was happening in Australia, I was just like, money. And it's kind of like, I need them breaks of like, man, I need to chill for like a few weeks, give me some time off kind of thing. Because I mean, it's going to be March again. I'm going to be filming again or whatever, and it's going to be around the corner again, mate. So yeah, Australia is brutal. So I'm going to look probably to go in February, get February done over there, and then obviously, hopefully we might go back to the film in March, April time. Fingers
Amazing.
crossed.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, you touched on it there about the reunion. Because I think I spoke to Ant a little bit last year, just on Instagram and stuff, and because he mentioned that the original plan was to go elsewhere, but obviously with COVID and everything, kind of all got delayed.
Yeah, we were meant to be in Colombia, bro. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, was that was that going to be the same as they're doing in Portugal now, but it was meant to be in Colombia?
But to be honest with you, I've got no idea. All I think I know is the viewing figures for this series have gone through the roof.
Yeah, I bet.
I think the first episode in Portugal, it went 8 times of previous viewing figures.
Really?
So you're talking a hell of a lot. That being said, I mean, I think the cast works really, really, really well.
Yeah, really good.
Which I was a little bit like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work?
It's a mixture of like OGs and newbies.
Yeah, mate. But to be honest with you, I mean, it's all the OGs as well. It's like our stomping ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like we created this. We did this. Like this is ours. And to be honest with you, mate, it worked really well. As much as we all thinking, is it or isn't it? It worked really well, to be honest with you. And it even reflects that in the viewing figures for MTV, which even if I wasn't doing the next series, if there is a next series, I don't know for definitely if there isn't.
Yeah.
But the longer Geordie continues, with or without me or whatever, the better it is for me, work-wise, for music-wise, for TV-wise, for everything, because it's on replays. So the longer Geordie continues for all of us, the better it is for everyone, for work-wise, mate. So I've not been one of these people that's been like, yeah, well, I'm not on the show. I want the show to end, which I know a lot of people have been like. It's sort of like, sour grapes, really, with them being kicked off or whatever.
Yeah,
it's what it is, mate, to be honest with you. I mean, I was one of them people that were kicked off years ago, and still I was like, yeah, sweet, man, it's cool.
Yeah, I bet it was a surreal experience being back abroad with the OG boys and girls, especially Charlotte being pregnant as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether she reads the interviews, but I mean, I couldn't be more like, thankful to Charlotte, because I mean, she was the one that opened doors for Big Brother and other TV shows. Yeah. When we first started Geordie, no one wanted to touch us, mate. And I mean, no one wanted to touch us.
Yeah,
we were just absolute scumbags that were on TV, just getting pissed and banging birds. And all that kind of shit. And we were just flying the wall TV. I mean, I know Cheryl Cole said, look, it's flying the wall TV, absolute love and that kind of stuff, which is great. But it was, I remember when we went to the EMAs and the Hoff was there from Baywatch, and he was like, yeah, I fucking love your show. And it was sort of them and the tide sort of changing for us when we're sort of doing them sort of like after 2 years of being on. It was kind of like, all right, sweet. I remember Charlotte doing getting the word for Big Brother, and then just after her, I knew she was doing the summer one, and then I had already locked in for the next summer one because the one being there with my top off and that kind of stuff, mate. So yeah, man, I'm thankful to Charlotte, man. I mean, I love the girl a bitch. I'm so happy. Jake, her boyfriend, is so nice, like, as well. We went to obviously her, what you call it, the pregnancy thing, the
Ectopic pregnancy.
The what? Sorry.
The ectopic one.
No. She had that event for.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the first time I met her, mate. Lovely kid, lovely lad, really nice. I'm so happy for the 12.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, and to be fair. Anyway, mate, that's all we need to discuss. Really, it's been an absolute pleasure. And like I said to you at the beginning, there is one thing I do at the end of my shows, is where like I said to you, you've got a Geordie rep. You've got a Geordie rep. So it's called the pressure pint, and basically you just have to see off that pint of water you've got with you in the fastest time possible. Now you are the first guest.
I just want to explain to people, I can probably drink you all underneath the table, but chugging isn't my fucking thing at all. So don't be skit to this if people are going to be writing comments in and shit as well. Drinking on the fucking table.
Anyway, worst case scenario, you are going to be first for a little bit because you're the first guest.
Great. So you're not going to have anyone else for the rest of the series, yeah?
Right. And also you've got to finish it and then put the cup down, and then I'll stop the timer, all right?
Right, okay.
Right, so 3, 2, 1, you're off. I tell you what, that wasn't bad at all. 7.96. That's less than 8 seconds.
I think half put over my couch.
Anyway, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us on,
mate.
as well.
No worries at all, mate. Thank you very much. I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Take care. Bye, mate.